Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mel Fiddy. So if today is your first time on my channel, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Yeah, I know I look very excited by the title. You guys know what we are doing today. We're talking about how to pass your driving test first time, because I passed mine. Yeah, I passed mine first time in this last year, December, end of December. So we're now in April. So we're now in April, and it's been a couple of months that I've been driving, and yeah, it's really exciting, like really exciting. And yeah, I have a couple of tips that I want to give you guys on how to pass your driving test first time. So yeah, let's get right into this video. Bye guys, before we do that, if you haven't watched my previous video about a couple of tips on how to pass your theory test first time in 2022, I'm gonna leave it right here. I'm gonna leave it also in I'm also gonna leave it down below. You can just go and check it out. But before you go and check it out, finish watching this one before you head to the other one. So yeah, for some of you that already passed your theory test and you're looking for a couple of tips on how to pass your driving test first time, so yeah, your girl passed first time, so you are in the right place, and I'm gonna give you all my tips. So I've written a couple of things. I've written them down just because I don't want to forget. So yeah, let's just begin. I know this is the second time I said let's just begin. The intro is being too long. Let go. So guys, my first tip is gonna be how to find an instructor. So what I did, I went, because I didn't know anyone that had passed the driving test and that had any instructor to pass on the numbers to me. So I had somebody that gave me a couple of numbers, but they were not really covering the area where I live. So I had to go and find it myself. So what I did, I went on Google and I typed, I think what I typed was best driving instructor in the area where I live. So that's basically what I did. This is how to find an instructor. If you don't have anyone to recommend you an instructor, you can just go on Google, type how to find an best instructor in the area where you live. So yeah, that's it. Let's go to the second tip. So tips number 2 to pass your driving test is gonna be that you need to have a good instructor. That's the key for you to pass your driving test. If you don't have a good instructor, it's gonna take you more time, it's gonna take you more money, because they're very expensive. I don't know why they're so expensive, because I don't know if it has something to do with the pandemic that we had, but the prices went up. The prices are so crazy right now. And when you pass your theory test, you have 2 years to pass your driving test. If in those 2 years you don't pass your driving test, you're gonna have to redo the theory test, and obviously you're gonna have to retake you're gonna have to redo your driving test. Obviously, if you already had a couple of lessons, if you already have a lot of lessons, you wouldn't have to do so much to get yourself in that motion again. But nevertheless, you're going to lose money. So you have 2 years to pass your driving test. And mind you guys, we're coming out from a pandemic, so for you to even get a date to do your to do your test is a nightmare. I started taking lesson. I passed my theory test in March, and I started taking lessons in July, beginning of July, and I didn't get any exam date until December. Like I told you guys, I passed my driving test last year, December. That was the first date that was available when I started looking on the government website to find an exam date. That was the earliest date that I could get. So can you imagine if you waste time on finding a good instructor, you're definitely going to lose. You're definitely going to waste time on passing your driving test, obviously. So yeah, you might as well be careful on what kind of instructor you get. So my second tip would be get a good instructor. Make sure you have a good instructor. So how do you know that he's a good instructor? It depends if he's punctual, if he's there on time, if he gives you time to even ask questions, and if it shows you what you're supposed to know at a certain time. Because when you start learning how to drive, you have the beginning stage and you have upward, right? But if it keeps you after 2 months, it still keeps you on the beginning stage, it means that guy is there just to take your money. So just find another driving instructor. So that would be my tips. That would be tips number 2. Let's move to tips number 3. So guys, for me, tips number 3 is gonna be financially ready. Like I was saying, learning how to drive nowadays is very expensive. It's no jokes. So you have to be financially ready, because if you're not financially ready and you start taking lessons and you probably take like a break, you're gonna lose most of the lessons that you already had. Because if you take lesson 10, let's just for example, you take 10 hours lesson and you probably need 45, because they say the minimum for you to pass your driving test, driving exam is about 45 hours. Well, some people might not need 45 hours, but some of us might do. So if you're not financially ready and you take 10 lessons and you wait 2 months to take another 10 more lessons, you're wasting time, and that's not gonna be beneficial to you. And I don't think if you were able to find a good instructor, it's not gonna wait around for you. It's gonna look for have a student. So obviously it's not gonna wait for you. You're gonna have to look for another instructor, because it might not take you seriously. That's the thing. So when you want to learn how to drive, you have to be financially ready. So yeah, that will be my 3rd tips. Okay, tips number 3 takes us to tips number 4. Is be committed. Like when I say be committed, if your driving lesson appointment are for 2 p.m, let's say, just be punctual, like just be on time. So at least it shows the instructor that you're very serious about what you're doing, and that you're not trying to waste his time, or you're not trying to waste your time as well. So my 4th tips would be committed, be on time, and be attentive and ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If there's certain things that you don't understand that he asks you to do, ask him. It's better to ask than not to. Better to ask than not ask. Even if you think it sounds dumb, it doesn't matter. He's your instructor. You're paying him to show you how to drive, obviously. So if you have questions, ask him. So my 4th is be committed. So tips number 5. What I did personally, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. Honestly, YouTube is your best friend, basically. So I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and the kind of videos I was watching were how to do parallel parking, because that was quite challenging when it came to me learning how to drive. Doing the parallel parking was so annoying and so difficult. And the second video, and the other videos that I was watching a lot on YouTube were, most most driving students have that issue when it comes to roundabout. Oh my guys, you guys, I was stressing when it came to roundabout. I didn't like doing roundabouts. They were so stressful. I didn't understand anything. My instructor and I were always fighting when it came to roundabout, and it was just crazy. I don't know why, but I didn't like roundabout. So watching a lot of YouTube videos when it came to roundabout was very helpful. And I knew, so if you're doing your driving exam in corridor, let's say for example, it's best that you start watching the videos around that area. When it comes to your roundabout, watch videos about roundabouts in corridor. That was that was what I was doing, and yeah, it did really help. So my fifth tips would be watch YouTube videos about driving areas if it makes sense that you're not really confident with. That's what I did, and it really did help. So let's move to the sixth tips, if I'm not mistaken. I hope. Yeah, let go. And my other tip would be, I think tips number 6, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, so I will also say, if you have a family member to help you drive from time to time, guys, you're going to save so much money. I think I did around 43 to 45 hours just because I didn't want to take a break when I was taking lesson, even because I knew my driving test was in December and I didn't want to take breaks. Even though it was 5 months away, I just didn't want to take breaks. I just wanted to keep on learning instead of taking breaks in between and being like, okay, let me save some money just because it's expensive. Yeah, I was paying, by the way, I was paying £30 per hour, and I was doing 2 lessons every week. I was doing 2 hours, sorry. I was doing 2 hours every week. So do the maths. And I did that for 5 months. I started in July, and I took my last and I did my exam in December. So yeah, do the maths. It's a lot of money. Even though I did my my exam in December, but before I went for the exam, on the day of the exam, I booked him for a couple of hours just to get into the routine that I was gonna drive on that day. And yeah, it was also very helpful. So like I was saying, if you can have a family member or a friend that knows how to drive, that had the license for more than 3 years, they have to be insured on the car that you want to use to drive, and you also have to be insured on the car that you're gonna use to learn how to drive, obviously. I had somebody that helped me, and it was my brother-in-law. Shout out to you. So it did help me, and that gave me a lot of confidence. Honestly, guys, it really did help me, even though I did a lot of hours just because I wanted to. I just didn't want to take a break. So yeah, that would be one of my tips. If you have a family member that can help you learn how to drive, that can help you from time to time, they sit next to you and take you for a ride, for you to be a bit more confident when it comes to be behind the wheel, be great for you. That will really help you to save money quite a lot. And yeah, it will also give you confidence, because that's what it gave me. And yeah, I couldn't have asked for more than that. And yeah, so let's go to the final tips. So my final tip would be believe in yourself. Because mind you guys, when I started taking a lesson, the first day that I sat behind a wheel and my instructor asked me to drive, to take the wheel, because my instructor was just straight to the point. I'm not gonna recommend him just because it did a couple of things that I didn't like. Not with me, with somebody that's really close to me, so we had to change him. With me it was fine, but at the last minute it did things that I didn't like, and I just felt like it wasn't professional. So I'm not gonna recommend him. So moving on. So like I was saying, when I sat beyond the wheel for the first time and my instructor told me, okay, take the wheel, let's go. It was really straight to the point. He's a good instructor, but the only thing is, he wasn't very patient. It came to a point where I wanted to change instructor. So just because I wasn't comfortable, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I wasn't comfortable with him anymore. So it came to a point where I wanted to change, but I was like, okay, he really knows what he's doing. So he really has knowledge about what he's teaching you. And the thing that I really liked about him is that he's always on time. He's very punctual. And I was the one that was going late sometimes. And it was really straight to the point. It wasn't taking, like, you know, showing you, okay, do that 2 weeks, you're gonna keep doing the same thing, whatever. No, it was showing you new things every day. It wasn't taking it like it wasn't taking me like a learner. It was taking me like I knew how to drive all my life, and I was just trying to get more lessons to just perfect, to just improve my driving. Like, that's the way he was that's the way he told me how to drive. So yeah, I'm sorry. So that's about it. So like I was saying, believe in yourself. Oh yeah, I was saying, so the first time that I sat behind a wheel, oh my goodness, oh my days, guys, when I finished that lesson, because it was what, 2 hours, and when I finished that lesson, when I got home, I called my sister, guys. I was laughing because honestly, I never thought that would be a driver. Like, never. I just felt like I was rubbish. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I was rubbish. I just didn't believe myself. I just thought like, okay, girl, you're gonna, I don't know how you're gonna do that. I don't know if you'll be able to drive one day by yourself, but I was rubbish. And I called my sister. I was like, girl, I don't even think I'm gonna be able to drive by myself one day, because there's nothing, I don't think I can drive. Like, even though it was my first lesson, I was just all over the place. I was laughing at myself, but I wasn't really, I didn't believe in myself. So here we are today. I'm officially a UK driver, and it was my first time doing that exam, and I passed. I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful to God, and yeah, finally. So yeah, this is the end of this video. I don't want this video to be too long. I hope I wasn't all over the place, and I hope you guys were able to grab 1 or 2 tips out of this video. And if you have any questions whatsoever, just leave it in the comment down below. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna say thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye.